the woman casually complained about her children. The very next moment, all 7 of her sons transformed into crows. A year later, the woman gave birth to a baby girl. She named the child Nellis. Ever since she could remember, Nellis had rarely seen her mother smile. A heavy sense of sorrow always lingered throughout their home. As she grew older, the questions in Nellis's heart became stronger and stronger. Determined to uncover the secret buried deep within her parents' hearts, Nellis traveled to the foot of the mountain and sought help from a witch. It turned out that this witch had once given birth to a cat. The villagers regarded her as the embodiment of evil. Nellis's arrival seemed to be exactly what the witch had expected. She gave Nellis a magical comb. As long as it was used to comb someone's hair, it would reveal the memories hidden deep within that person's heart. Nellis returned home carrying the enchanted comb. Late at night, while her mother was fast asleep, she gently parted the strands of hair beside her mother's face with the comb. At once a cruel chapter from the past flooded into her mind. Her mother had once been blessed with 7 lively and lovable sons. Because she desperately longed to have a daughter, she had specifically sought magical help from the witch. As long as she baked the most perfect loaf of toast bread, and spoke her wish while tearing it apart, her dream would come true. However, while she was making the bread, her son's playful behavior unintentionally irritated her. Consumed by anger, the mother casually blurted out a complaint. She never imagined that those careless words spoken in the heat of the moment would become a terrible curse that condemned her children to a dreadful fate. That tragic mistake, born from a single moment of anger, became a wound in her heart that could never fully heal. Nellis believed that if it was a curse, then there had to be a way to break it. So she once again avoided the villagers and made her way into the forest. Seeing the determination in Nellis's eyes, the witch finally softened and told her how to lift the curse. The solution required completing a series of nearly impossible tasks. Nellis would have to travel alone to the green sea high in the mountains. She had to personally pick stinging nettles covered in thorns and spin them into bundles of thread, using them to sew 7 shirts for her brothers. Before the shirts were finished, she could not speak a single word, nor could she accept help from anyone during the process. If she broke these conditions, the curse could never be lifted. After arriving at the Green Sea, Nellis found the cave where the ravens lived. Late one night, when the 7 ravens flew back to their nest, the girl witnessed a miraculous sight. Her brothers briefly transformed back into their human forms. When one of the young men saw the unfamiliar Nellis, he was so frightened that he instantly turned back into a raven. This brief reunion with her brothers only strengthened Nellis's determination to save them. From then on, Nellis devoted herself to gathering nettles and spinning thread. The sharp spikes of the nettles were as piercing as needles. If one accidentally pierced her skin, her arms would quickly become swollen and red from an allergic reaction. Pain and discomfort instantly spread throughout Nellis's body. But Nellis's efforts were soon rewarded. Her raven brothers sensed her kindness. Not only did they bring her wild berries every day to satisfy her hunger, they also secretly built her a comfortable nest out of branches. The peaceful days were soon interrupted. One day, 2 princes happened to ride past the area. The second prince mistook the hard-working Nellis for a wild boar and immediately raised his gun to pull the trigger. At the critical moment, the ravens swooped down to attack the second prince. During the chaos, one of the ravens was unfortunately shot and wounded. When Nellis saw her brother injured, she rushed forward. Fortunately, the kind-hearted elder prince stepped in just in time, allowing Nellis to leave with her wounded brother. In order to save her brother, Nellis once again returned to the witch's home. While waiting for her brother to regain consciousness, Nellis could not help becoming curious about the witch's past. So that night, she used the magical comb to uncover the witch's tragic history. It turned out that the witch had once been the queen of this kingdom. After the king died on the battlefield, the current queen, seeking to seize power, secretly replaced her newborn son with a cat, and spread the claim that she had given birth to a monster, inciting the people to drive her out of the royal palace. For many years, the witch had lived in seclusion deep within the mountains, quietly guarding the secret she carried. 2 people burdened by similar pain found a deep sense of understanding in each other at that moment. After the raven recovered, Nellis returned to the Green Sea as well. The elder prince was deeply attracted by her courage and perseverance, and often came to the forest to visit her. Because he had been born with a stutter, the elder prince was frequently mocked by others, so he never tried to hide his embarrassment in front of her. Even though Nellis could not speak, she always encouraged him with her eyes. As they spent more and more time together, feelings of love gradually blossomed between them. One day, Nellis tried to protect the drying nettles from getting soaked by the rain, but she herself became drenched and fell unconscious with a high fever. Guided by the ravens, the elder prince rushed to the cave and carried the unconscious Nellis back to the palace to care for her. This act greatly angered the queen. She strongly opposed the relationship between the elder prince and Nellis, and even threatened to drive Nellis out of the palace. To protect Nellis, the elder prince gathered the courage to argue with his mother for the first time. In his desperation, the speech disorder that had troubled him for years miraculously disappeared at that very moment. To make Nellis happy, the elder prince built a small cottage for her in the palace garden and moved all the nettles she had collected there. His thoughtfulness deeply touched Nellis. Not long afterward, the two held a grand wedding. Soon after their marriage, Nellis became pregnant, but she never gave up on saving her brothers. She continued sewing the shirts in the garden every day. Meanwhile, the queen feared that once the prince inherited the throne, Nellis would become a threat to her power. So she arranged for the elder prince to travel to another city. After the prince left, the queen began making life difficult for Nellis at every turn. In order to discover the queen's true intentions, Nellis used the magical comb to read her memories. The queen was the very person who had framed the witch years ago. Back then, she had pretended to be pregnant at the same time as the witch. And on the day of the birth, she swapped the witch's baby with a cat. After learning the truth, Nellis felt a chill run through her entire body. Just as she was about to flee the palace, an unexpected event occurred. The child in her womb was ready to be born. Soon, Nellis gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Taking advantage of her weakened condition, the queen stole the baby and cruelly threw him from a tower. Fortunately, the ravens caught the swaddled infant with their wings. Meanwhile, Nellis could only remain in her room, working day and night, hoping to finish the last shirt as quickly as possible. A few days later, the queen accused Nellis of giving birth to a monster because of witchcraft, and had her dragged to the execution ground. At that moment, the final shirt was still missing one sleeve. Suddenly, the 7 ravens descended from the sky in circles. Nellis finally cried out her wish aloud. At last, the curse was broken. The ravens instantly transformed into 7 handsome young men. At that very moment, the elder prince also returned to the palace. The witch arrived at the execution ground carrying Nellis's child, and publicly exposed the queen's conspiracy from years ago. She then handed the magical comb to the elder prince, allowing him to uncover the truth that had been hidden for many years. It turned out that the witch was actually the elder prince's biological mother, and the prince had not been born with a stutter. Not long after the queen seized power, she became pregnant with her own child. In order to eliminate the elder prince, she once tried to crush him to death with a massive boulder, but accidentally struck the former king, who had come to protect him. Witnessing his father's tragic death, the young prince suffered such severe shock that he struggled to speak from that day onward. After the truth was revealed, the people banished the wicked queen from the kingdom, and she was forbidden from ever setting foot in the realm again. Afterward, Nellis returned home with her 7 brothers. Their mother apologized for the mistakes she had made years ago, and the home that had been burdened by sorrow for so many years was finally filled with laughter and joy once again.